haven't ran since the half, so I've been walking a lot. But, oh well. What's that? What's next? I don't know. That's what I was asking my wife last night, or telling her, you know, if I don't have a goal, then I'm going to stop moving. I've got to have a goal. A Michelob Ultra? Or I don't know. An Ultra. If I could swim good, I would. I'll do maybe an Olympic duathlon. Run, bike, run.
Run, bike, run.
Yeah. No, not a duathlon. That's a triathlon. I can't swim. I can swim. I'm not a good swimmer. I've got too much. I got too much drag. Really? I thought about it, you know, a couple of years ago. But
did you see those commissioners that use the money wrong?
Expensive, so you just get a wetsuit that floats you, and all you got to do is just do the movement. So.
Well, one's just from Frederick, which had been served a long time.
Yeah.
I knew him from he did these by SI.
Yeah,
the county did.
The sprint try? Is he doing the sprint try this
That
year?
was a big account for it.
If he does a sprint try, I'll do that.
So it's just what we need that on the news.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I can do that one.
What's all the people here for this morning?
But maybe Olympic duathlon is next.
Did I miss something?
I don't know.
That's fine. I just more than I would have thought.
Oh man, thank you. You have can't see out of one side. Yeah, it may be.
I don't know, but it's true.
You know, I haven't since I lost it. I haven't used mine.
Yeah,
I was out breathing.
Yeah, well, I use mine every day. I finally got it. I've had to put it in.
Don't start the live stream until
What I needed. So I got
click.
it fixed here about a week ago.
Does yours adjust to the breathing?
It does. It does. And one of the things I had
we're up here jabbering.
I can't seem to keep enough water in it. It's got a little water in it. And I wake up in the morning, boy, my throat will be dry and my pants.
I feel like I've got to go back and test it.
Yeah, mine's old. I probably need a new one, but it works. Well, more every day thank God. That stuff's not all bad. Not all bad.
Mason's campfire sent anybody, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Then I'm not going to look up around that. Well, this is spring break and they're building some. Yeah, they closed the school. Well, we could be out of
At all.
because it is
Oh, mercy.
leave out.
already.
All right. something be an original deal.
walk it.
All right, good morning. It's 10 o'clock. We'll call this meeting of Wichita County Commission to order. If everyone please rise. At this time, I'd like to call on Commissioner Beecham to give the invocation.
Pray with me, please. Good and gracious Heavenly Father, Lord, we come to you as a concerned people, concerned for the events of the world. Lord, our thoughts are toward the people in Ukraine, Lord, and particularly one that's very dear to my heart, Lord, Helena. Lord, that you would just put your protecting arms around them, Lord, and end this conflict before it escalates further, Lord. Lord, we pray for each of us as we conduct the business of Wichita County, Lord, that you would guide us and direct us to do it faithfully, through you and for you, and in the right and correct ways always, Lord. Lord, I pray for those in harm's way, and first responders, and our military, Lord, that you would be with them in each step, Lord, that you would bring them home safely at the end of each day. Lord, we just pray these things all in Jesus' name. For his sake I pray.
Amen.
If y'all join me in pledge of allegiance, please. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you very much. Take seats, please. A couple of things we want to do in the beginning. Every year. React to handwritten letters. I'm not sure we have young students read cartoons anymore. But the idea was to take the time, and on actually the first year I think it was March 17th. This year it's March 17th. And I've been the North Texas Campfire Council since that started. I always pick out somebody to write a letter to, or several somebodies to write letters to. And I tell people, we're all still kids. I think the oldest person I've given an absolutely incredible kid day letter to was Joe Brown. And I presented that to you one morning on his early morning TV show, if you ever had a chance to see that. And because we're all still, I hope, kids at heart, because that keeps us young and thinking. But I have some special kids today that I want to recognize. They're here in this courtroom. And I'd like for the first one to come up, and that's I built this recognize now I'm going to ask to join her also, who used to be the Republican County Chairman, and to their cohorts, Penny and Gina, would you all come up too, please? These letters all read the same. Okay. This is to each of you, and I want to acknowledge you as absolutely incredible kids for the tireless hours and inexhaustible energy that you gave to carry out the 2022 Wichita County primary. Despite being repeatedly bombarded by questions, but were loaded with criticism and venom, you kept a positive attitude and stuck with the task. Each of you demonstrated patience and understanding. Thank you for your service and dedication to the elected office of Wichita County. Night of that Tuesday night, I left here about midnight, and I said, okay, y'all, please let me know when things are finished. Well, I woke up at 5:30 to feed the dogs and checked my phone immediately. Nothing. I thought, well, I guess they finished and went on home. So I finally thought, I've got to find out. So I text Lori. I get a picture back of this group all sitting on the table, holding each other. It said, at 7:20, we just finished. So they had, most of y'all were up over 30 hours. And to have kept the attitude and the that you all did. Did we make some mistakes? Yes. Did we do our best to recover from those? Yes. And all in all, even though we're going to have a contested deal in court about the JP4 race, considering what happened is normally when we do redistricting, it gets done, the census gets in, we have 3 months as a minimum to put all that information together. We had less than 6 weeks for the consultants and to bring that together to us. Because they were doing one or two of the firms that do that dropped out of the business. So it comes down, and the firm we were working with did 140 something counties, which is well over half. And then this group had to work together to enter because the Secretary of State software is not up to date to accept the new GIS information, the way it's being processed. And they had to do much of that by hand for 70,000 voters. So were there some mistakes? Probably so. Did they do their best? They would be on that. And I just want to thank you all publicly. Lori is doing what many people are doing. They have grandchildren in spring break. She's got all her grandkids. So she will get her next Monday for this. But thank you all very much. And we also added to this list is a van that was sent here from Art Civic. Darwin spent an incredible amount of time, stuck right with it, didn't say, I've done my 8 hours. He stayed right there with it. So we owe them a big round of applause and thanks.
Tough night, a very tough night. I couldn't have better group to go through it with than these folks. It was a group effort, and we wish it could have gone faster, but here's what it is.
You could have been in Harris County.
Well, that's
The other thing I want to say, if we had more Republican and Democrat working together, as well as you two do, we come back to the kind of country we all grew up in and felt coming. We had two views, but when we came together, we all served as statesmen, and we're lacking that today. And I hope and pray that we can return to that. But with leadership like yours,
I agree. My observation that night was the same. It was nice to see everyone working together as a team.
it's nice when somebody tells me to unmute my mic and choose the other one.
If you're the president, you read that out loud.
Thank you. You're certainly welcome to stay or go back to the meeting.
So a whole fleet of kids out there.
Judge, I think we have some campfire kids coming.
I think we do.
Oh, okay. Why don't y'all just come on right up here? We're doing this right now. Come on.
Stay here or sit
Don't just come on right up here with me, please.
What a good-looking crew.
Wow.
There's an ocean bridge and there's that. She's got on right there.
Oh, yeah.
We did not sure y'all would make it would be in the break. My name is Lee Dawson. I'm the county judge, but I'm the chairman of the Excellent Incredible Kids Day for the North Texas chapter. And why don't you do this? Will you tell us your name? Start with you, please. Hawaii. Your dad. Trinity, big kid. Yes, sir. Jelani.
Cadence.
Okay.
Miles, but her name is Cadence.
Come on, Judge, get it right
This is
now.
5 years in artillery, and Mr. Hampton and I can't hear from our time in the military. Yeah, okay. Oh, okay, very good. Olivia? All right. Well, thank you all very much, and I'm gonna, since you let them in, I'm gonna let you have this. And that's the proclamation we all signed for today, and recognizing some incredible kids. Have you all gotten a letter yet from anybody? Mine on March 17th is the actual day. And, anybody, I say kids are from 1 day to 100 years. So, we're all still kids at heart, so keep that in mind. But thank you all for coming today. Do you have anything y'all would like to say?
Judge, you might ask Trinity to tell about the program the kids participate in.
Yes, Commissioner Watts is also the president of Campfire, North Texas. Rudy?
Hello.
Yeah, there you are. Okay.
So at Campfire, we really strive to grow the kids in a lot of different areas, where they can kind of branch out in their own spaces, like creativity, leadership, different things like that. They build friendships between the counselors and each other. So that's what we do at camp.
Right. Well, you all do a super job of it. Really, really appreciate it. You'll have your hands full this week. But yeah. Because a lot of parents, the chance they're not off this week, so they count on you all to take care of the kids here today too. So we appreciate it. Thank you all very much. You all are welcome to stay, but you all may have some better days. It doesn't get much better than right here, right now. All right, thank you all so much.
Olivia. Olivia, I like the boots. I would have given anything to have a pair of those when I was your age. They're awesome.
I was trying to sneak that to you.
All right. Commissioner Beecham, I think you had something to do with this on item we do on here. And we want to say congratulations to the boys and girls basketball teams of Christ Academy, as well as City View and Hershey boys basketball teams going to the state tournament. And close counts in horseshoes and hand grenades.
Well, first, congratulations to both teams at Christ Academy, boys and girls, for bringing a TAP state championship, or 2 TAP state championships home to Wichita Falls. I don't know that we got a plaque downstairs that talks about 2 football championships in the same county, but I don't know that any county has ever sent 4 teams to the state tournament and come back with 2 wins. That's a pretty amazing statistic that we had both teams from Christ Academy. We had City View boys made it to the semifinal rounds. We had Hershey boys come up against looked like an NBA team. When you looked at their travel schedule, they had a travel schedule that was pretty comparable to a Division I NCAA team. So they come up against a buzzsaw, but man, nothing to hang their heads about. What a year for Hershey in particular. Gee, they almost a football championship, almost a basketball championship. We're all proud of them. Outstanding job, Hershey. Outstanding job, City View. Outstanding job, Christ Academy.
it's 10:15, and we'll go into public comments. Does anyone in the audience or on the phone have anything to bring up to the court?
I do have one, Judge.
Yes, sir.
I have our new Indigent Health Director here this morning. Glenda, if you'd like to introduce yourself to everyone, tell everybody a little bit about who you are.
Thank you. I'm Glenda Adams, and unfortunately I don't live in Wichita County, but I work for the prison here in Canal Park, Wichita already for 22 years. I just recently retired from there and come aboard to Wichita County.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. So
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
So thank you.
Judge, on that note, too, I'd like to recognize again Brendan we've got with us. He started a day after Glenda, I think, did. And Brendan, if you would wave to everybody, there was not as many here last week when you come, but our new IT director is here, and so very pleased, and he's got a lot ahead of him, and he's hitting it running. So,
Yeah, while we're doing this, we have some of the current candidates for county offices here. I'd like for y'all to stand and introduce yourselves, just so everyone knows who's in attendance here.
I'm Janae Evans. I'm running for county judge against Mr. Johnson. Congratulations as well. From Wichita County. I'm a Democrat. And I feel the same way as you. I just hope we all can just come together and because we all have views. Like I don't fully agree with everything Democrats do. I don't fully agree with everything Republicans do. But with us coming together, we can get Wichita County that where it needs to be.
Very good. So, yeah, go ahead.
Stephen Jones, I'm for county treasurer.
All right, you should be the county treasurer-elect, but you could have a write-in comment. All right.
Jim Johnson, the Republican nominee for Wichita County Judge.
All right, very good. Thank you all very much. And I hope that spirit can continue through November, and we'll see how that comes out. But thank you all for being here. Okay, anything else to be brought up during the public comment session?
Just one thing,
Yes,
Judge, at our Farm Ranch show on Friday and Saturday, we had a nice luncheon with one of the real movers and shakers in ag policy nationwide, and Jim Johnson was there. Jim, we appreciate you being there with Representative Frank to talk about rural issues in Wichita County. But it was a very good session. We had a lot of producers present, and those kind of sessions, I think, are very productive for the rolling plains of Texas and Wichita County. We appreciate you being there, Jim. It was a good discussion.
No, it's not on the agenda to discuss, but just briefly, 4 of us went to the County Investment Academy last week. It was, in my estimation, it was the best school that I've been to as a county commissioner. A lot of information. Most of it was honestly over my head, but we had Cheryl there to guide us along. So, although we gave you a run for your money on the live quiz. It was very, very good school, and I would just advise all the commissioners' court to eventually go through that academy. It's very.
It was long, but it was informative, and it was just. I'm with you, Mark. I thought it was really stayed on topic well and covered all the bases.
A large percentage of it was taught by professors at Texas State University, so it was very good, well-presented information.
Anything else? Okay, it is 10:19, and we will close the public comment. I'd ask the court to take action on the consent agenda.
Motion to approve, Judge.
Thank you, sir.
I'll second.
Any comment or question about anyone on the consent agenda?
Well, which agenda item?
No,
Okay.
you already answered the question for me.
Okay, very good.
Okay. Hearing none, we had a motion to approve by Commissioner Muller, second by Commissioner Fincannon. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item number 1 on general business is review and approve the Regular bills for payment, order the county treasurer to disburse payroll and bill payments within 72 hours via U.S. mail, FedEx, UPS, or electronically unless directed otherwise, or may be picked up and ledgered in the treasurer's office.
Second.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Fintan, second by Commissioner Beecham to approve the bills for payment. Any comments or questions by anyone? Okay, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. I've got something under announcements. Who's retiring today from the Public Defender's Office?
Rebecca will be on the 20th.
Oh, but she's having her little
Party is next Sunday.
is next Monday. Okay. Oh, well, I had the wrong, I was getting ready to go over there today. I've been.
Hold up.
Hold up.
Well,
Okay.
okay.
Is it this Monday or next Monday?
The 21st.
Okay. All right. Okay, we'll get to keep her. Maybe we can get the attorney client GTL situation solved between now and then. Okay, thanks. Okay, item 2 is discuss and consider take action to accept Rucker Truck Sales Incorporated retail proposal for a 2024 Mack model GR64FR truck with installed interior.
Etnire.
There we go. Thank you. Oil distributor with purchase of using Bruckner's HGAC contract number HT06-20 pricing for a total of $326,323 to be split evenly among the 4 road and bridge precincts and budgeted for 2023 delivery acceptance, and authorize Commissioner Jeff Watts to sign the retail proposal. Commissioner Watts, anything else on that item?
Judge, this is crazy to me, and I know we'll talk about it again on item 4, but those trucks out in the marketplace are scheduled way out there. Matter of fact, they're not even taking those orders currently from Mack Truck Sales, and it's a strange situation driven by lots of different things going on in our world today. But we did investigate using and considering even an electric vehicle for this operation. It just wasn't going to fit our application very well, and the cost is extremely more expensive, plus the charging stations that would have to be involved, and they carry a hefty price tag as well. So one day we may have to cross that bridge, but it's not now. It was just crazy to me that we could accept a truck, an electric truck, in May of this year, but we're looking at late fall of 23 before this item is ready. So just, it's a wild world, and but I do think it's a very needed item. It's going to make our work smoother and easier. It'll carry more oil than ever before, so we'll be able to work without stopping and having to refill more often.
So it's one of 2 key pieces of equipment that we have a lot of trouble with the current one.
That's
breaking
right.
down, and spent a lot of money over the years just trying to keep it operational. When it goes down, we sit on the sidelines until we get it fixed, and we need to take care of that. But I would like to ask that we change it from being funded out of all 4 precincts to being funded out of investments on precinct 5. We have, which we're trying to reduce that balance to 0. We have double the amount that we would need parked in precinct 5 right now.
Okay.
I assume this is by board purchase.
Yes.
HGAC.
One similar to Bob.
Similar, yeah, same concept.
And but I agree, when we were looking at those balances, that we play that fund down, but it would be my motion that we move forward with this purchase.
We're actually, I guess, buying an option, aren't we, basically? Will that be a marketable option a year from now?
You know, that's a good question, Barry. I don't know if we make him double our money, sell our option and move out and do something different.
Well, you never know what's going to happen in this length of time and on what's going to change. I don't see the price going back down. It's not a discussion of that, but there may be something that comes along that we want to look at. I mean, if we were doing something in the next 45 to 60 days, it'd be one thing. But when you're this far out, I would assume that this would work like any other order, that it's yours. You can take delivery of it, or you can, spin it off to someone else if you want to. Is there a down payment, or?
No, there's no down payment. We won't know fully until they accept our chassis bid when the window opens to receive those. So, at late October last year, all of the 22s were already booked to be built.
And the chassis is the holdup. That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
So, Cheryl, will we keep that in the 23 budget? Just budget it out of 5? Okay.
We have, Cheryl, I believe, about a $250,000 capital expenditure in 5 budgeted, and I don't know how that comes into play here, knowing this is not a purchase till 23, but.
Well, currently there's 100,000 in fund balance, so between the two, that'll probably wipe out everything.
Which was what you had wanted to achieve.
And then anything else that needs to be funded for precinct 5 will just split, to the school by 4.
Okay.
Which is where we're going to.
So the motion's to purchase that precinct 5?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Fenton, second Commissioner Watson's motion. Any other comments or questions? Okay. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Item 3 is discuss, consider, take action to approve the purchase of air moving and carpet drying equipment from Carpet Master at a cost of $3,600 to be paid from the general fund contingencies with lines determined by the county auditor. This equipment would be for any possible water damaging accidents or incidents that might occur in the county facilities. Commissioner Beecham.
Yes, Judge. Commissioner Watts actually discovered this when perusing a social media site and saw them advertised. These are actually used. This is used equipment, but we've had Rick go take a look at the equipment and assess it for operation. We're getting a very good deal at $3,600 for, was it 10 fans, 2 dehumidifiers?
Yeah, there's, they actually have 11 total fans available, and 2 room dehumidifiers. The dehumidifiers are refrigerators, so you can set them up in a room. They have a hose you can run to drain the water off, as opposed to the big top that you have to dump in and out, which is not conducive for most of the applications we use. But the drying fans at $100 a piece, some of these are practically brand new, the other ones are more used. We don't have to buy them all, but the idea was if we can get enough of these, then we can share them, throughout in different places. I know that the jail had quite a bit of water that they were having to deal with, so it could have, we could use it in numerous places, but we had a situation the other day where I needed to drive a room out, and I have an old box fan that doesn't move enough air for anything, so, paid $100 for a little bitty blower it was, just to try to drive the room up. So it could be a really good deal for us, and I checked out 4 of them out of all of them, because there were some up on higher shelves that we didn't take down, but we ran them and talked to the guy, and it looks like it'd be a good deal for us. But we don't have to purchase them all if we don't want to. So we run every single one of them just to make sure that there's no problems with them. They all look pretty good shape.
Well, just kind of a FYI, so we just recently had the problem in the LEC where we called Service Master out. The Service Master charge was over $9,000, just under $10,000. So had we had our own equipment, that might have been a little bit larger of a problem for us than some, but we could have potentially saved a $10,000 charge by having this equipment. We have probably 5 or 6 water damage events in a year between all of our buildings. Most of them are on the smaller side, but that would be something that this equipment would be very good for. We had a juvenile detention last year where we had.
I had 2 events over the course of a year.
So this is a one-time charge that we can do a lot, not everything, but a lot of it we can do ourselves in-house. So it'd be my motion to accept purchasing all that's in that list.
I would say.
And thanks, Jeff, for
You bet.
turning me on to that. So.
Okay, the other thing in that, you might possibly have a claim against the contractor on that.
Yeah, we're working with that. So.
Yeah. That shouldn't have happened in that new facility.
No.
Any comments or questions by anyone on this item? Okay. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried 5-0. Item 4 is discuss and consider take action to approve Bruckner Truck Sales Incorporated quote dated March 8th, 2022 for a Mack Pinnacle 64R day cab at an estimated cost of $166,888, with purchase to be made during the third quarter of 2023 to be paid from Fund 221 with lines determined by the county auditor. Commissioner Beecham.
Yes, Judge, it's exactly as we discussed in item 2. We're just saving our place in line for this purchase, knowing that it is something I'm going to put in the budget for next year. It's the only way we can get it purchased is by going out this early and saving our place in line.
Okay. And it's under the same thing?
It's under HGAC
Galveston
contract, yes, sir. I failed to put that in the item.
Okay. Any comments, questions, anyone? Okay, is there a second to that?
Second.
Thank you. Okay. All in favor of the motion by Commissioner Beecham, seconded by Commissioner Watts, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carried 5-0. Item 5 is receive an update on courthouse renovation elevator projects and county annex. Commissioner Beecham.
Yes, Judge. I believe I can go open the annex lobby this afternoon. I think everything has been approved. I'm going to go walk it before I do open it up, but we should be, everything's on the checklist done now on that annex lobby. Courthouse, not anything huge in progress-wise. They've started cutting the floor on one to install the new plumbing. In cutting the floor, they made some interesting discoveries of how the building was originally constructed. The electrical lines were put in using clay tile pipe underneath as a chaseway, either clay tile pipe or they built boxways in order to run single conduits. So there's all this integral network of clay tile pipe and boxwork underneath the floor. But that whole floor slab on that first floor is only 4 inches thick, and it has no rebar in it. It has some steel mesh, but most of it is at the bottom of the concrete, really not doing anything. So the fact that it's not cracked in a million pieces is probably a good thing. I mean, it means the building's pretty stable. So that, again, re-answers our question that we had the engineer take a look at a couple of weeks ago. So it's continuing to move, but at a slow pace at this point.
Mark, mention a couple of ideals that we were able to look over while we were at school.
As far as
Well,
buildings,
let's don't get off there.
Well, that was just some concepts.
Granted, but they're on a different project.
Commissioners, that wire's not still live, is it, through that stuff?
No.
Been abandoned a long time ago.
It's neat to see what the 100-year-old construction techniques were. They're vastly different from today, that they've used what I would have thought would have been clay tile sewer pipe.
Yeah.
They were using that sewer type pipe as a chaseway to run conduit through.
Didn't have conduit.
Well, they use metal pipe for conduit.
Okay.
It's
Not conduit as we know
not
it, I
conduit
guess.
the way we would
Yeah,
know
yeah.
it, but it's interesting to see it. It's just not what you would expect to see when you cut into a slab.
And I suspect the reason that's held up is we had better concrete. Probably
That's
stronger.
what we were talking
Yeah,
about
stronger mix.
this morning, that it must have been a very good concrete mix
Yeah.
to hold up without cracking and any problems at this point. It's only 4 inches thick, because that's not typically what you would see in a building of this size.
Do we have a prospectus or a proposed project's cost? And I'm going off of Bob's number, and I may be missing something on our investment. It may not include the count information, but permanent improvement, as to where we're stacking up with our projects here and what we've committed to and what money we're setting on there. And I guess that's how we're paying for these right now.
Well, everything on the courthouse project is permanent improvement. We have not accepted or moved forward with the annex project at this point. It's still being drawn. We had engineers back out a week ago, getting some more final details. So, but on that project, a great deal of that can be funded out of ARPA.
Okay, that's right.
So it's forthcoming, probably within the next month, I would guess.
And I guess that is something good we should consider to look at quickly, is how that, on these particular projects and others, maybe how we're breaking that out, as Cheryl has recommended to us, to get us a game plan that's.
We need to build that wish list and see where our priorities are and then where I can fund that from pieces of ARPA. Rather than piecemealing it, I think we have a whole game plan and we'll be able to do more with our money in a longer period of time.
Okay. We'll set up a meeting to kind of go back over, because we've got 2 requests right now. Okay. We may want to consider. Okay. All right. Anything else?
No, sir.
All right. It is 10:38 and we're adjourned.